Well, looks like we are off to a fun night at the races here. Because, yeah, Space Engineers is already on the derp, apparently. Hey guys, how's it going? I am Farrell, and I am here with a little bit of Space Engineers, again, taking another week off of Battletech. Don't know when I'm going to get back to that. It's kind of festering in the back of my brain. I'm thinking about restarting that campaign entirely, and if I do that, I'm going to play through a little bit and make sure I actually get good difficulty settings this time. Oh, and there we go. Keen has finally decided to honor me with its presence by actually downloading the mods. What do you know? You'd almost think that's exactly what's probably going behind the scenes when I connect up to the Uncooperative Survival server there. Yes, stay out of my house, it's 66 mods, and that doesn't include the planets. This is a world that I set up when Wasted started playing around with the new mods on Uncooperative, and I mirror most of it, except for the custom planets. I don't want to put those in because I want to kind of find those on my own, basically. The other thing I should also do real quick, because I just saw it pop up because someone just happened to message me, is I need to turn off that stupid Discord overlay. I was playing around with it the other night. Supposedly you're able to use that in Minecraft if you want to Alt-Tab out of the window but still like have your mouse button held down for AFK fishing and stuff. Doesn't work. At least not for me it does. Not on a dual monitor setup, so saw something pop up there. Something you will notice this time around is another thing I'm playing around with tonight is song description up at the top right. So if you ever want to know what I'm playing, I've actually finally got that on the screen for once. What I've also got on screen here is the last thing I was working on in this world, which is the Thugvar, which you may remember from last week. And what I've done, just to kind of show, you know, what I do off camera with some of these designs, is I have stripped off all of the armor. I've gone back and, against my better judgment, I've put in conveyor tubes. Trying to be cognizant of the fact that, yes, it does increase lag and latency and whatnot. Well, lag latency. It basically just puts overhead on the server, so I kind of compromised and got rid of some of them, where it kind of made sense. You know, long runs that will still be supported by something else, namely the rest of the system. And hopefully that will cut down on some of the server-side impact. Also stripped out all the thrusters. The only thing I've left on here basically are the wings, because that way I know where they were, and I like how they're configured. And the internal guts and the armor blocks that were holding up the CPUs here and whatnot, which you can also see I have refit. The other thing I have to finally figure out how to do is fix this problem. The shield block does not like to always... There we go. Doesn't like to fix itself when everything comes back online. So basically this is now just a, you know, a twisting, barely movable Hulk. 198,000 kilograms without the armor. It's not the 100,000 that were on top of that before I took it off. But I've also got all the programming blocks straightened out here, and hopefully this is going to work when I paste in. The idea is, when it comes time to get the Thugvar into Uncooperative Survival, I'm going to be just pulling in the skeleton here. I want to kind of be able to do the greebling and everything on stream, especially because, you know, if Textfire wants to get involved or Wasted wants to get involved, you know, hey, why not? It's not like I haven't been out driving the Electric Banana or the Rattler, you know. So, that's where I'm at. But this is space. This is, yeah, I've been up here, and I really want to be on a planet. So, let's go ahead and play around with something a little more fun, namely Rover technology. Because, as you know, I have the best of luck when it comes to rovers in this game. Couldn't ask for anything better, right? They just, they like to explode. And that's just, I guess, a case of who I am. I don't know. They just don't like me. In all honesty, they patched that out of... Well, they're not patched it out. It should have never been in there in the first place. They pulled that out of the game. Namely, they fixed it in one of the minor updates, one of the two that came out after the regular update. Supposedly, rovers are going to explode less often. And I was using my parking brake a little bit on Uncooperative. Seemed like everything was okay, but really, long-term testing is about the only way I really feel comfortable in saying that that is going to actually be fully, properly kitted out. You guys didn't see that. That was potential spoilers off of the Uncooperative, or the 10v10v10. Alright, so here's what I actually properly put in, and actually spent some time working on, which is a variant on what I built. The base of the chassis is about as accurate as I could get to, you know, an off-screen recreation. And I took that design, and it's a little beefed up now. We've got some gats on the front. We've got an extra turret that wasn't there on the front now. And you can see I even managed to keep the same wonky seating setup and other weird things like cargo and placement and everything. And this little guy doesn't do that bad. There's two things I need to do. First off, gyro power needs to definitely drop down to 30%. And second, apparently, I need to also remember I have to actually hit the remote control. Of course, I'm not going anywhere if I'm not hitting the remote control. Oh, that, and let's go ahead and also get the crosshairs back on. Okay. So it's going to be a little off because I'm not driving it around on... Wow, that is loud. Turn that down a little bit. Actually, let me turn that down a lot here. Holy moly. That is annoyingly loud in my headset right now. I can turn it back up for you guys. I don't know why I had that turned up, but I did. Okay. And that just undid all the auto changes, didn't it? Keen. Why? I'm tired of having to hit 20 million buttons to do something. Alright, so this is a... You know, it's a good rover. Considering the fact that it was running around on a 0.9 gravity plant, which is why I had to turn down the gyros a little bit on this one. On the other one, it actually works out much better. For something that's got a minimum of wheels, it's handling pretty good at a decent, well, decent-ish clip, I should say. There's just one problem, and that is the cockpit I'm in, or the seat I'm in on this one, is sitting right on top of a battery. And that battery is poking right out of the bottom of the rover here. So when I tried to go, say, a little bit airborne, which is probably not going to happen knowing my luck. Come on, game. There you go. There's a little bit of washboard there. Nope, yeah, you're not going to do it on demand. Okay, I see how it is. You're not going to give me the terrain that could just completely trip me up the other night, are you? Go downhill. Oh yeah, into a tree. That'll work. Oh no, I'm down. Oh, whatever shall I do? I don't know. Actually, yeah, whatever shall I do? V, please. Can I see up my cockpit? Yeah, she does turn over. The problem is I have to put the gyros up full. And of course now, the fun problem of getting back in the seat. It's not great. It really is a lot better when you throw on a cockpit. Also, let me know if the music is too loud or too soft tonight, guys, because... There we go. That's the thug bar there. Or not the thug bar, the merry-go thug. I can keep the gyros at 100, but if you peg it just right, she does have a tendency to get a slight roll with the steering angles. So yeah, I've lost all the guns on top, but hey, it's just exactly what happened the other night when I was trying to go up a hill. I rolled it a couple times. It was good. Did I just fail to fail? Absolutely. Funny thing is, I'm wearing a NASA t-shirt right now, so failure may not be an option, but it may be an option, but it may not be an option. We'll have to see if we have that option. Either way, it's not a bad little rover, but I have a feeling once I start putting some cargo in it, it would kind of change my tune quite a bit. Come on, give me a good stuff I wouldn't normally go up here. Come on. Turn well on a hill. No, it's holding that fine. Let's see if I can go for... I see a nice little steep hill over there. Let's see if I can peg it downhill and get a good running jump off of it. I've also got the wheel output limited. That's why I am in trouble. And that's why I got in trouble on the stream. I turned up the wheel, a lot of the wheel settings. And that's just a no-no when you're in a vehicle in Space Engineers, because, yeah, you kind of want to just tone it down. That seems to be the way to actually get a vehicle that works pretty well. Unless, of course, the vehicles are randomly exploding on you. Then, at that point, there's no help whatsoever for you. There's gotta be something out here big I can jump off of, right? I see a big hill over there. Because, you know, if I'm gonna be in a vehicle, I might as well really throw it. So yeah, looking at improving on this design and kind of figuring out other things I can do. Teaser or not, you are absolutely right. The wheels do need to be a bit further apart. I want to switch up to the 5x5 wheels. So that way they'll handle the terrain a bit better and get the chassis off the ground just a little bit more. And kind of try to keep the weight low. Obviously this thing with the turrets on top and the massive dome of armor, not exactly great. So I'm kind of thinking more along the lines of a bit more like a convertible than anything else. This should be fun. Come on, game. Do me proud. Nope, not quite yet. There we go. Ah, yes. Got a nice, lovely jump on that. Aw, come on, game. You're supposed to break it. Oh, it's still going. Really, the gyro steer on this thing is what gets it. You just stop steering and... There we go. It's a little hard, but you can take some pretty nasty hills here. Oh, this is gonna pancake bad. Yep, there we go. Parachutes would have helped that, but... Still pieces flying out of the air there. But still, handled the initial impacts there pretty gracefully. But yeah, there's the here's a problem. You take out that battery and poof, all the seats are gone. Anyways, the idea is not to design something that's capable of surviving half a cliff here. The I could make, well, the hover tanks you can do, but they're honestly a pain to drive around compared to like a vehicle. A vehicle gets to be much more fun because you kind of get to go up and over all the hill edges and everything. And a hover vehicle just kind of sits and skids 90% of the time anyways. Oh, come on, game. Why did you give me my playing field here? Some place to do some very basic building. So, we are also going to start this off as a non-geared design because, as we all know, Space Engineers loves to do fun things with vehicles when you drop them off of landing gear. Like, cause them to explode. I'd like to actually keep a design around longer than that. Especially because this one I want to build a little bit off the ground so I have the extra clearance on the tires. I don't normally go to this point of construction here. The other problem is I have to remember I'm not building a space vehicle. So whereas if I were building something, well, actually, yeah, let's really reinforce this. Let's just start clearing taskbar crap here. So much junk. I'm not going to necessarily aim for a combat vehicle, because when you're on a planet and you need something that's going to go somewhere, 90% of the time you're just looking for very basic setup. You know, nothing too complicated. Just get me in and around and carry some basic capacity. And, yeah, so... what can I do to make this work? Well, I could go with a four-wheel design, and there's nothing wrong with the four-wheel design, but I am partial to having six-wheel minimum. And that's because you got the two in the back, well, the four sets of wheels in the back doing propulsion, and you've got the one up front steering, and I kind of find that's all I really need. And actually, let's also make this easier on myself. Mirror mode, please, game. So I want to build some stuff in, but I also want to have a little bit of fun with this design. And I have a little something in mind to really give this thing a good, solid test. And just to give you a little bit of a heads up, it may or may not be slightly inspired by recent stream events. That's all I'm going to say about that. Good Land Rider is a basis. Well, I mean, really, what if I wanted to go with the right design? I don't know if I have. Oh, where is it? I know he's got it in here somewhere, and I actually have used it in a couple places. There's a on my underground world. There's a bunch of cargo carrier vehicles that you'll see around, and they actually are all built on top of wherever you put it here. Wasted. What did you name it? Here's your template. That lovely little template of vehicles there. It's in here somewhere. No, no, no. See, I do have Clang designs on here. It's not the B, because that certainly doesn't work very well. Ha! Dual layer suspension frame. This thing that Wasted's got here is very slick when you take it out anywhere in its basic form. Of course, the problem is when I drop it from that height. You know, aside from that, and apparently the wheels are deciding what to do right now. Even though they're perfectly still, I can hear the wheels. Right. Yeah, of course you could do that game. Yeah, turn off the parking brake, drop the rig, but it stops the wheel noise. This is a pretty darn good setup to start with, and the problem is it's not very early game. Kind of go for something that's actually somewhat achievable, especially because I am going to be going back and forth on this, and eventually I am going to do this whole survival world, single-player survivor that I want to start up. Let's see if we turn off mirroring mode for now. Let's do this the intelligent way, Farrell. One wheel there. And another wheel there. More clearance before I put the next one on. Want you to drag. There you go. The other nice thing is, for those watching who have been seeing all of my fun the last few weeks with blue screens of death, that should now no longer be a problem. Of course, it means I've also had to completely rip out everything and redo my entire audio setup, but hey, you know, it's... You gotta do that once in a while. Just rip everything out, and why did... Oh, mirror mode. Derp derp. Derp 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 derp. Because I don't trust the game mirroring wheels. See, this game mirrors anything properly outside of basic armor blocks will be a miracle. Especially modular thrusters. Oh my god. Those things have just been getting worse and worse, it seems. Alright. Basic 5-wheel chassis. I'm not going to bother to do anything fancy like, you know, raise the front up, because as long as they don't build the front too low, that should be perfectly fine. We're going to, however, reinforce this chassis, especially around the front spot, because I don't want anything necessarily blowing up and falling off. I can survive the loss of the middle wheels. The front and the back wheels, kind of important. And let's grab that there as well. So, now I need to find... kind of want to find something interesting to do with this, and what I can even do